in the act of marital love can create another life. Because God made it where the male and the female in the act of marital love can create another life. You can get married and love all you want to and never touch each other, and there is no fruit of that love. Hello. You are in the physical, and everything that you do has some kind of a physical release. God provided Abraham with what he needed in the physical. He had to go and make an offering. Why was that important? Because it was clearly pronounced even before Moses came to write the law, that when one came into the presence of God, he could not come before God empty. Come before the Lord and do what? Bring an offering. And the first two sons that we read about born to Adam and Eve, God judged the kind of men they were by the offering that they brought.
Were you recently injured in a...
Abel brought an offering that had blood in it, a costly offering. His brother Cain, who was a tiller of the soil, he just went and gathered up some vegetation, probably mixed with weeds, and said, "Here, God, take this." And God didn't receive Cain and didn't receive his offering. And I say even now that Cain must have been the father of drug abusers. Preacher, where you get that from? Because when you go back and read creation story, all of the herbs, the fruit of the ground, when God made it, he said, it's good. But for Cain, who was dealing with the fruit of the ground, to end up getting a hold of something that made him crazy enough to kill his own brother, he must have taken God's good herbs and abused that which God said is good. See, God may tell you something is good, but it's good when it's used right. When you abuse it, you mess up. So God had established, when you come into my presence, don't come empty, bring an offering. And the Lord spoke to Abraham and said, offer to me your son, your only son. Now here's something that I want to establish and reestablish. God never has, he does not now, nor will he ever demand that any human being offer another human being up as a sacrifice. He told Abraham to offer your son. But although he offered him, God would not accept him. Jephthah got right there. Jephthah made a foolish vow. If you deliver me, deliver the Ammonites into my hand, first thing that come out, I'm going to offer it to you. And what happened? It was his daughter. Now, biblical historians are not sure yet whether he really offered his daughter in sacrifice. Now, whether the fact that it talks about the virgins lamenting her that he isolated her so she could never be married. Either way, it was a sacrifice, and her life ended with her. But God did not demand that the daughter be offered up. And anytime you start dealing with these foolish cults, and a lot of that stuff is going on in our nation, we have people offering up children. There is something demonic in the fact that every few days you read about children disappearing, children being killed. You've got people that are warped and demented, but I want you to know God does not require that you offer anybody's life up to him as an offering or as a sacrifice. You don't even have the power to offer your own life as anything but a living sacrifice. He says, present your body a living sacrifice. Even when you get ready to kill yourself, you are out of the will of God. You don't have the power to kill your own self. So you sure don't have the sanction from God to kill anybody else. And a lot of folk have found out that even if they try to kill themselves, you can't kill yourself if God don't let you. You can inflict pain and cause yourself to walk around, not even walk, but be handicapped for the rest of your life in attempting to take your own life. But when you get around, and this is a day when all kind of spiritual insanity is in the world and sweeping our nation, and while you are always talking about, I got to have more, you know, this is just too common. I gotta have something more. You better watch when you start reaching for that more, because if you don't know what you're reaching for, you'll be like those young men that were gathering with the prophet Elisha, and somebody got a lap full of poison weeds and said, man of God, there's death in the pot. And you got a lot of folk now, they're gathering junk and they don't know what they're gathering, and it's driving them nuts and everybody around them. So you better be watchful with the religious teaching that you catch a hold to, wanting more, and you can get something that displeases God. I'm just talking to you all today. I don't know how long I'm going to be before you. I'm not going to wear you out, but I got to get some things out of my heart. God wanted him to have a physical offering. So he gets his son, puts on him the wood, and here again it represents Jesus, because the wood, the cross on which he would die, he had to carry his own wood to the place of the crucifixion. They get to the place, and the young boy, he is old enough to know what's happening, and he said, Father, here is the wood, and here is the fire, but where is the lamb? And Abraham says, the Lord will provide himself a lamb. God provides what we need in the physical. Let me digress one more time. I don't think you have a greater scriptural witness to the fact that God provides the needs of his people in the material greater than Elijah. Here is a man that when Israel, being led by Ahab, had gotten into bondage to a foreign and idol god, serving Baal and Ashtaroth. God reached over behind the mountain and brought out a man that nobody knew. He didn't even have a birth certificate. They didn't know who his mother was. They didn't know who his father was. It is only stated that he was Elijah the Tishbite of the inhabitants of Gilead. And he steps in before Ahab and says, as I live, said God, there will not be dew nor rain falling on the ground, but according to my word. Takes an invisible key and he locks up the heaven, and it does not rain, and the dew does not descend on the ground for 3 years and 6 months. But when he pronounced that there won't be any rain, there won't be any dew, he himself was still a man